It has been a long wait, but as the leaves start to turn, so do our attentions towards basketball. Hi, everybody. Ryan Rose with you. We are talking Charlotte 49ers hoops, and, of course, that means we've got the head coach, Alan Major, here with us. Thanks, Coach, for stopping by.
Appreciate you having me.
Got a couple of players with us. We got senior JB Javaris Barnett, and we got a junior Chris Braswell also taking a couple seconds out of some rough practices going on as we get set for the start of the season. And, Coach, just to kind of think back to this time last year, you had more questions than answers as to what you really had and what you were going to take on the floor. After that last season with some huge wins, I mean, beating Xavier, their only conference loss, win against Tennessee, win against Georgia Tech, some big wins, and continuing that streak of beating top 20 teams that Charlotte has been doing. What do you think back that from there to this point, and now coming in, you've got a lot more answers than questions, I guess.
Yeah, I think last year, too, was about the culture, making sure we establish ourselves that way, and now, what we want to take a next step, this year is with our chemistry and our consistency. I mean, I'm really excited about this group. I think we got depth. I think we got versatility. We got some experience. We've got some guys that don't have it, but we got some guys that do. But it's good to have some guys that do. And I think as we continue to grow, that's my biggest thing, is how better do we get each day. Because if we continue to get better at the rate that I think we can reach, and our ceiling's pretty high to improve, I think we can do some really good things.
Well, you guys had an exhibition, and I was sitting courtside, JB, at that one. You came out hot, on fire, just knocking down everything from outside. But the thing that struck me in that game was the guys coming off the bench. There were so many of them, first of all. But second of all, for guys like you and for Braz, who had to play a lot of minutes at times last year, that's got to be a nice thought to have, that I got guys that can step in so I can come off the side, get a blow, and be fresher toward the end of games. What do you think about that?
Oh, yeah, that's a big thing to have right now, because last year we didn't have that factor, and we was playing 30-plus minutes. So with guys coming in, that can, when they get in the game, they can really contribute. And it's not, the level of competition is not a downfall. So just having bodies is going to help us, starters. So that's probably the biggest thing this year coming into this season. It's going to help us. Now,
you as a senior, you kind of are one of the coaches on the floor, so to speak. And Coach was saying that you've had to take a lot of young guys under your wing and sort of take them aside and teach them. Have you kind of enjoyed that process, being an old man around here?
Yeah.
26.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, it feels good because, I had that when I came in here. Lee Goldwire was a senior when I was a freshman. So just being a leader is a big shoes to fill. So, and them guys, Terrence Williams and Victor Nickerson, Mike Perrier coming in, they have no idea what college basketball is about. So with me and Braz and Dario and Deuce, guys that's been here, showing them the ropes, I think from the summer to now, it's a big step from when I first came in here.
Sure.
And Coach Majors, his philosophy, his game plan, they buying into it. So they just basically just want to play, want to just everything get better. So I think that's going to help them and help us as a team.
You got a great core coming back, Braz. I mean, you've got you two, and JB mentioned, Dario and Deuce and guys like that who you guys kind of went to battle with last year. But there's a large group of new faces. We saw, and they all played in that Belmont Abbey exhibition. What do you see with this young group of guys, and how are they going to help this core of players really get to some of the goals you want to reach this year?
I see it as, new guys that's coming in. Like JB said, there's new faces towards, UNC Charlotte 49ers new team this year. But coming in as, like me and JB, when we came in, we didn't really know the ropes. But so now, we teaching them. So it's just like, well, can we help teach them to learn how, when somebody else come in as a freshman, can they teach them how to play the role? But I think it's going to be, a great year for learning process. Coach Major has his second year. First year was kind of learning the ropes. So, Coach Major, how he wants us to play. Do we want to change this? Do we want to change that? But I see it as, with the younger guys, it's going to be a good year.
Now, one thing that's positive about year two for you is there's no transition. The whole staff's together. So a lot of things that you had to kind of figure out your way as you went, what what roles are going to be played.
Yeah.
So a little bit for this core group of guys, they can do a little more coaching because now they know what you guys are after. Talk about how important it is to keep the staff together.
It is, yeah. I got, to me, the best staff in the country. Not just from a basketball standpoint because they teach, they coach, they scout, they recruit, but the way they are with our guys is the same way they are with their own kids. And I don't think you can be a good coach, without being a good husband and a good dad. And every guy is phenomenal that way. And so I know the way they are with their kids, they're going to treat our guys with that same care, that same respect. They're all about making sure these guys grow. So not losing anybody, it was great because we all come back. And I had never worked with any of the staff before, hiring them. So having that year under our belt, they know me more. The language, just all the little terminology things about basketball. And so that part's been great.
A lot of learning, a lot of teaching, not just from coaches to players, but to each other, I'm sure. And one of the things that you did in this offseason, we'll talk a little bit about how everybody got better this offseason. You did something I thought was interesting, was you for the second straight summer, you brought in some of the alums and tried to kind of reconnect the program to itself. And that was, I saw some of the pictures from that event. That looked like a lot of fun. What is your kind of philosophy for keeping that going?
Our whole thing at Charlotte basketball, it's about taking care of the players and having a quality of life for them, making sure that they always know this is their home. When these guys move on, I want them coming back. I don't want senior day to be the last time or graduation day to be the last time I see JB or Braz. And taking care of the former players is a sign of respect. It's a sign of honoring what they've done. I mean, they've built our offices, our locker room, everything that these guys have now was built on a lot of those guys' sweat and built the gym. And we owe it to them to make sure we always honor what they've done, not just with respect, but also with the effort and the way we play. And by taking care of the former players, that's one thing. And now treating these guys the right way, these guys are priority 1A because we have them.
Right.
Players are kind of like former guys are priority 1B. And then if you do that, then whatever recruits or future guys we want will take care of itself. But
nice.
Our whole thing is you're a 49er, you're going to be a 49er for life.
I like that. Well, speaking of summer, what did you guys do this? I know we talked about how the team's going to be better. How individually, JB, what did you work on since the last game last year up until this season?
I always work on the shot, but ball handling and post work. I had some of the managers help me in this summer, just working on my post work because at times, with the offense, I will have a smaller guard on me and will have the ability to be in the post. So just working on that and in the weight room, just getting stronger because I might play some 4 and some 3. So I'll be banging down there with the big guys like Braz was. So, just overall, just every aspect of the game.
Sure.
Basically. Yeah.
Braz, what did you do to get better this year?
I would have to say just, learning how to, finish around the basket more this year. I know last year I was kind of not finishing around the rim. But so I learned, how to finish around the rim, trying to, get more better with my left hand.
Okay.
I'm not gonna put that all out there, but getting better with my left hand in practice. But that's my majority coming back to my left hand, not always going to my right hand. But facing up, hitting 15, 17 range footers, adding a little bit 3-pointers to my game now. But just try to switch it up a little bit. Once in a while.
It's always good to have range. At least they respect it, right? They got to respect the range.
But also, just getting in the weight room, make sure I stay fit and stay in shape. A lot of running is consistent in playing in basketball. So just staying in shape, getting them easy rim runs, add to my stats.
Nice, add to the stats. So that's what all the guys want to do a little bit of. Now, Coach, let's take a look at this season coming up here. You've had the exhibition. You're about to go on a nice little stretch of games here before the semester ends. A lot of travel on the schedule this year. You're going to be going all over the place. Before we talk about conference, let's talk about the challenges that face you guys non-conference. We got Davidson back on the schedule, but there are a lot of other good opponents that you guys are going to face in the coming weeks. Yep,
we'll have Central Michigan on the road next week as well as Lamar, going back to Wright State later on. They came here last year. I'll be back at East Carolina. Obviously, Davidson, Miami, Florida, coming in right before Christmas. Radford got a new coach, assistant guy was an assistant coach at VCU, so they'll kind of, be setting themselves up, with a new staff. But I like the fact that we've got some challenges, especially going on the road, because I want to see how our team continues to grow closer. And when you're on the road, you can eliminate some distractions. You don't have to worry about things. I mean, we kind of spend time, with ourselves on the road, whether it's meetings and dinner, the times on the bus, hearing these guys crack jokes. I mean, I always like kind of sitting up front. They don't always know I listen, but I can sometimes hear, them in the back, just having a good time, trying to be a team. And, we have 7 road games in non-conference, so we have plenty of time to spend together. But going in those different gyms, different environments, sometimes it'll be packed, sometimes it may not be, but can we be that team that's the same every single night? Home, road, doesn't matter, because being consistent is a big part of our thing this year.
And then, of course, the league schedule, what you guys are familiar with. When you think of the Atlantic 10 Conference, and I've seen people write about the league as if basketball had a BCS, the A10 would probably be included. There's so many good teams in it, and JB, night after night, no matter whether it's here in Alton or on the road, there's some tough teams you got to face when January comes on into the regular season and finale.
Yeah, it's tough because, some teams like Xavier, George Washington, we play them twice, so they'll have film on us, and we weren't the same thing. So execution will be like the top priority, and winning the game. But any team in the A10 is, we can win or lose. So every game in the A10 is tough, especially on the road, going into their environment. Like Coach said, we got to be as a team and be tough, tough-minded and tough on the court. So they'll help us win on the road.
Braz, this non-conference schedule kind of lets you guys bond and learn, again, who you are because of all the new faces. But when it comes time to face those A10 opponents, what's when you get to that point, what's really important for this team? How close do you guys need to be, especially in some of those road environments?
We got to be extremely close. Having that type of bond on the court and off the court is a big factor. Being around a guy a year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, but being around a guy with that type of bond string together on the court and off the court, but mainly on the court because we're playing together. Just saying, when we go on the road, it's only going to be 49 fans, and then the fans come out, and the supporters, then we'll have them. But when we go on the road, it's just us. It's just the team, the managers, coaches, and trainers, our weight. So, it's just us on the road. So, that type of bond, we need to stay together, play together as a team, work together as a team. So
you guys got in a lot of close games last year and maybe ran out of gas in a few of them because of how physical this league can be. I know you had been in the A10 before, so relearning the league, as it were, bringing a whole new group of guys in with, as Brad said, with those teams, and JB said, having some film on you now.
Right.
You can't fly under the radar anymore.
Oh, no. But you know what? You want to get challenged, though. I mean, you really want to be the team that I deep down believe we can become. You want to get challenged. You want to see what you're capable of. And, obviously the challenge is developing our new guys and bringing them along. But, after this road schedule and after, we finish up Memphis December 31st, and we're going to have all the information we need as far as knowing what we're capable of as we head into the conference. So, A10's a fine line league. I mean, we were in 12 games last year decided by 5 points or less.
Right.
So a lot of that is mental. A lot of it's, as JB said, toughness. But that's the challenge, and I'm excited about that because these guys have worked extremely hard. You wish people knew the work that they put in.
Right.
It doesn't always maybe get appreciated, but I'm very excited for them because they've earned the right to take another step this season.
I've been down in the offices a couple times here and there, and I do like the repartee going on between coaches and players. It does seem like a little closer group. I am so fired up for this season. Let's just go play, Let's go. Let's get this thing going. You need to be out in Halton Arena with us this year. You can call for tickets at our ticket office, 704-687-4949, or you can go online to our website, www.charlotte49ers.com. Get your tickets, get out into Halton Arena, make it rocking. I enjoyed the atmosphere at the exhibition. I enjoyed the atmosphere at Niner Madness. That was a riot. It should be electric this year. So if you don't get tickets, that's on you. I can't help you any more than that. We're going to fire this thing up. And looking at the schedule, some great teams are coming in here as well. So hopefully you guys are ready to go. best of health to you guys. Good luck this season. I hope you guys have a lot of fun, and I hope that you will join us. Thanks a lot to Coach Alan Major, Senior Javaris Barnett, and Junior Chris Braswell for joining us. I'm Ryan Rose. That is our men's basketball preview. We will see you in Halton Arena. Go Niners! That long wait is over as the winter starts to creep in. We move indoors and we focus our attentions on basketball. Hi, everybody. Welcome, Niner fans. Ryan Rose with you. We are talking women's hoops for the Charlotte 49ers 2011-2012 season. And, of course, we're going to talk women's basketball. We've got the head coach, Kara Consuegra. Welcome.
Thank you.
And we've got a couple of graduate students. I like to say seniors, but these two are graduate students. We've got Epiphany Woodson and Katie Metter. And we grabbed them for just a couple minutes off the practice court. I know you guys have been working really hard ever since the day this lady got here, and probably the month before she was officially instilled as head coach. You guys have been really cranking on getting back to the heights. I know you guys have just been kind of every year postseason. I know that's another goal for this team. And, Coach, let's talk about, your arrival here. You didn't recruit this group. A lot of times people forget that a coach has maybe a 2-year relationship at least with a player before they even step on campus. You sort of have to kind of scout yourself when you got here. How's that process been?
Well, I've enjoyed getting to know this group, and I've said to them from day one that I don't consider them somebody else's players. Mm-hmm. They're now my players. And, we said from the beginning, the staff, myself, that we would have a clean slate and give them an opportunity to prove themselves, and we would get to know them as them, not from other people's perspectives. And so that's what we've tried to do. And it's been fun. It's been interesting because we really ended up having 2 transitions. The original transition where we got to know them in the summer and they were around. And then we really had a second transition of being on the court and getting to know each other as players, as coaches, expectations, all those different things. And so that's been really interesting to kind of navigate through that. There's been ups, there's been downs, but every day we've made progress in our chemistry, and I'm just really excited about this group.
Your Twitter feed has had some interesting things. You guys have done some group things. I know that's got to be a part of the meshing process. And every year you do it when some players leave from graduation, new players come in. Every team is completely different. Pip, let's talk about this last maybe 6 months with this group as you transition into the 2011-12 season. What's this journey been like for you, especially being a senior and being one of the leaders on this team?
Wow, it's been very different. It's been exciting. Like she said, it's been ups and downs, I think, but that makes us who we are. And I think it'll help us in the long run. We've struggled, but we've also, like she said, have had a lot of progress on the court. I think for me personally, I've gotten to know my teammates more than I ever have. I'm actually enjoying them more than any other team that I've ever been on, especially for my college career. I've gotten close to each person from the freshman all the way to Katie. So it's been exciting, and I'm excited for game time.
Yeah, it is about time to start playing somebody besides each other in practice. Katie, as a senior leader on this group, how's that been? I know a little bit more gets put on you two as far as helping the transition from the new coaching staff, but also you got to still bring in the young players and help them mature, and because they have to be a part of what this team's going to achieve.
You're right. From top to bottom, a team needs to be together, and as Pips and my job is to help bring the freshmen along. Some days when they're down and you can tell that they're struggling, you've got to, hey, you're doing good. Like, don't worry about it. Move on to the next play. And that's somebody. Tracy and Danielle did that for me, and I saw Aisha and them do it to Jay, and it's just like it's a continual process as a senior. You just help everybody. You've got to. You're the leader. You're the one that they look for.
It's kind of fun. I know one of the joys of coaching and one of the joys that we get as staffers here is watching the freshmen and the transfers come in and watch them develop and grow and become, the people that we're going to put out into the wild when this is all over. You've got 2 graduate students here who are interested in coaching, which I think is interesting because they get an additional benefit of learning from a new staff. They get to as we've talked before, you're kind of an amalgamation of all the coaches that have ever coached you when you become a coach. Talk about, what might be ahead for these two as coaches, and some of the people that you may have learned and picked things up from as you grew up as a player and then now as a coach.
Well, I wasn't surprised when I heard that both of these wanted to be coaches, just from getting to know them and the way that they have really spent. Probably the two of them have spent the most extra time with me in my office, asking questions about how are we going to do this, how are we going to do this, and those questions started in May. And so, right away I was thinking, okay, these two have a mind for coaching. They have a mind for this game. It's not just come in and put my time in. They have a love for basketball. So I wasn't surprised by that at all, and I think both of them could be very good coaches down the road. And for me, absolutely, my coaching style has evolved from everybody that I've been around in my career. I had two coaching staffs while I was at Iowa. I had the same coach for 3 years, and then my senior year, very much like them, I had a new coach. And it was interesting to go through that transition as a player and now to do it as a coach. Mm-hmm. But I'm so thankful for it because I was able to learn from two different people. I was able to have success under two different people. And it's helped mold me into who I am. And certainly then, my time at Penn State and my time at Marquette, I've learned from wonderful coaches, head coaches, assistant coaches, colleagues. And every person along the way has, touched me and has become a part of what I do today.
How quickly were you able to put your staff together, and what are I know Sabrina Gregory is a holdover from the previous. She's a player here, and Eric McCombs, the director of ops, is returned. But talk about the two new faces that you've brought in and what they're going to contribute to the squad this year.
Well, we put it together very quickly. I had my press conference on a Tuesday, and Karen Lang interviewed on the Wednesday the next day.
Right.
Karen I've known for 10, 15 years. I've known her a very long time. She was also a point guard at Iowa. We did not overlap in our playing career. We got to know each other then later down the road. But she has just been a true blessing for me to have, somebody who's been a head coach before, someone who has a ton of experience working in different leagues, different places. And she's one that I really rely on X and O wise. She helps me a lot defensively because I have more of an offensive mind. She's great with player development, great with scouting, and has really helped really lead our staff in those areas. Okay. Angela Crosby, she's one I did not previously know, but I got to know very quickly. And again, she was hired in about a week and a half. So same thing, that came together very quickly. But the interesting thing about Angela is if you get to know her, you find out that you feel like you've known her forever. Yeah. She's our recruiting coordinator. She's the best recruiter I've ever been around when it comes to creating relationships, knowing players, knowing strengths and weaknesses, and putting a class together. And she has really guided me and navigated me through that process, and our staff, because I'm coming from the Midwest. I haven't recruited this area a lot. Mm-hmm. And without her and obviously the help of Sabrina, who has recruited this area a ton as well, we would be in a very different situation recruiting-wise than we would be today.
All right, let's scout the coaching staff. What have you learned about these coaches in your time together as you guys get set for game one here coming up this weekend? What does this coaching staff bring to you as a player, Pip, that is kind of new to you, and what have you learned from them so far?
They bring energy.
Okay.
I think with them being a younger staff and kind of being able to relate to us on a different level than previous coaches, they just brought energy, just a different type of spirit in the gym. Encouragement, more motivation, different types of motivation. I think that they always want us to do well. They always express to us that, when we do well, they're going to let us know that we do well, that we're doing well. And then when we're not doing so well, they're going to get on us and make sure we reach our full potential. But I think the main thing that they bring is energy. They're full of energy, full of excitement. They want to have fun but get work done at the same time. And I think that's going to benefit a lot of our players, because I think a lot of our players have benefited already from it, and they need that type of motivation. So I think all of them from top to bottom, from Sabrina being young and just having a different type of energy than I think some coaches may have. Coach Kara being a younger coach, even Karen, I mean, she may not be as young as them, but she brings a different type of energy than I've ever seen. I love the way she coaches. She's a guard coach for myself, for the point guards. So they just bring a different type of energy than I've ever seen before.
Katie, my office sits over the practice gym. It's been lively down there. You guys are getting after it. What is going on with this team and this staff so far?
I mean, there's just, like Pip said, it's a lot more energy. It's every day it's talking, communicating, and what you're seeing down there is hard work. It's us diving on the floor. It's, trying to be spirited and stay positive. That's one of our main things that we talk about is positive per minute. And, you know, we try to give those as teammates to each other and continually encourage each other. And that's something that we've got from them. I mean, they've instilled in us to, you know, when you do something wrong, yeah, they're going to get on you, but at the same time, they're going to pick you right back up. And that's what we have to do as teammates. So that's what you're seeing.
Let's look ahead now to some of the games on the schedule without necessarily picking individual groups of games, but you've got a couple of tournaments you're going to head to early in the season. You've got a northern trip, which you're going to make more of those when it comes January, February, and then you get to go southward to Miami. And a couple of ACC schools on the road. The schedule is kind of testing what you guys can do right out of the chute. You're going to find out within about a week, 10 days, where you guys are. Let's talk about the schedule that was helped put together as you guys got here.
Well, and that's the thing. Some of it is done by design. Some of it is done by necessity. You know, because when we took over here as a staff, you know, it's been a month and a half since the schedule had been worked on. So some of it we had to fill in where we could. But we're thrilled with it. I mean, yes, it's challenging, and yes, we're going to see some great teams on the road. But I really believe that this team is capable of handling that. Obviously, coming off the success we had at the end of the year last year, the experience we have back, all those things help make me believe that this non-conference will test us, absolutely, but that's what we want. We want to be tested because we want to be able to get into January, into the A-10 season, and be prepared for anybody that we'll see in conference.
And you do play teams with varying styles. I know this is an up-and-down team. You say there's energy from the coaching staff, but there needs to be. You guys are going to need it for this long haul. Pip, let's talk about once you transition into A-10 schedule. You've had a year playing these A-10 schools. What kind of style is this league, and where do you guys fit in this year, do you think?
I would say it's very similar to where I come from, which is the ACC originally. It's very fast-paced. I don't know anyone who really walks the ball up and down the court. We have a lot of big guards, and we also have some undersized post players who can play the guard position, who can step out and hit the 15-foot jump shot. So I think it's similar to the ACC. I think a lot of people say that if there was one more BCS conference, it would be the A-10, and I truly believe that. I think this is just as good a competition as any other conference in the nation. So, and I think with us playing against a lot of BCS, I think we have at least 5 BCS teams on the conference this year, we'll be able to show that we can hang with anybody. So, you know, we don't need to be underestimated just because we're mid-major. I think we have a great conference, and I'm excited to play the competition that we have on the schedule.
Katie, a trip to the NCAAs of your freshman year, what's it going to take to get back there?
It's going to take the same dedication, honestly. With that team, we were so cohesive, and we had each other's backs day in, day out. And I see that with this team. We have each other's backs. That chemistry's there, and that trust is there. And that's key to any team. Any NCAA team is trust. And we've got it.
I think the coaches have made it a point to teach us that also, more so than we have had in the past. We've been taught to trust each other, to lean on one another, pick each other up when, you know, we may see someone down, and stick together through hard times. That's been a big theme this whole year. We went through a week of what we call boot camp, where we really had to stick together in order to get through it. So I commend the coaching staff for kind of helping instill that in us, because I know we'll need that this year.
You ready?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's about time, right?
That's right.
Let's get some hoops going in here.
Right.
I know you have one exhibition. You played a closed-door scrimmage, so you're kind of to the point now where it's game time. It's time to get this thing going. Are you guys ready? You think you're ready to roll this thing out?
We're excited.
Yeah.
You get to the point where we've been practicing for a month today, actually. Maybe it was yesterday, but either way, it's a month, and you get to the point where you're ready to play against another team in front of fans, in front of that atmosphere. I'm excited. It'll be my first time.
Yeah.
So I can't wait. You know, the scrimmage that we did, the close scrimmage, was really good for us. The benefit of that is you just get a lot of work against another team. I mean, we spend so much time against each other, against our practice guys. To be able to get that same type of work against another team in a closed environment is great. But now it's time to do it under the lights, and we're excited about it.
Let's tip it off. If you want to go catch these ladies in action, call our ticket office, 704-687-4949. You have no excuse not to get out there. We just told you all about what's going to happen. You met these 2 graduate students, seniors, these leaders on this team. You got a new coaching staff. Let's fill this place up and get it going. I know the atmosphere has been good. Let's make it just a little bit better than that. And, you know, hey, NCAAs is a possibility with this group. I mean, I know that's a goal for them. If you want to get online and check us out, we're at www.charlotte49ers.com. You can get tickets that way as well. Cannot wait for the season to start. I know they got an exhibition coming up this first weekend of November, and you have a few home games on the 13th, on the 19th, and then a couple in December before we get cranking on that A10 schedule. So we hope that you'll come out and join us. I'm Ryan Rose. This is Kara Consuegra, and our two seniors, Tiffany Woodson, Katie Metter. Thank you, ladies, for joining us for a few minutes. We appreciate the time. Now get back in the gym. I know you came straight from there. We'll let you get back to practice. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in Halton Arena. Go Niners!